Does Romain need an apology, or just is watching the season enough where he's like, okay, I see Davina's.
Yeah, no, he doesn't need an apology. He just always said he wasn't going to be friends with her. He's like, I don't want to be friends with someone like that. But I think now watching and stuff and seeing the way, I mean, he'll always be civil to her and nice, but I think it'll probably help. Like watching that how much she's really putting in an effort to change. I think it'll probably help how much he's willing to open up. I don't think they'll all be besties, but
Let's not get carried away now, right?
yeah, I know.
Well, listen, we've so we heard the headlines around the world. We watched it this season, Chrishell and Jason.
Yeah.
Now, in keeping, so were you told? I mean, it seems like you were told about this like before, like you were in on this secret thing.
Yeah.
You were there.
I was. But Romain, can you let the dogs out? Sorry.
It's okay. He can come say hi
Or
if he
Kaylin?
wants.
Somebody? Thank you.
We have many appearance by dogs here, and tell
Okay,
Romain,
yeah, I'm
and
like,
tell
they're
Romain
going
we
crazy
say
over
hello.
there.
They're just happy that you're on here with me, Well, right. So now how were you told this, originally? You knew before us as as the world when it made headlines, like how were you told and who told you?
I was not told. I figured it out. I was out with them at Delilah, actually. And she got up and went to the bathroom, and he was sitting there next to me, and I just like looked at him, and I was like, I could just tell, like there's the way he was looking at her and the way he was acting. I was like, what's going on? And he's like, nothing. Why? I was like, no. Is something happening? He's like, no. You can't lie to me. Fine. Okay. Yes. And I was like, oh my God. Oh my God. And so she comes back and he's like, Mary knows. She's like, you told her? He's like, no, she just knew. And because they just wanted to kind of figure it out for themselves and see where it was going and stuff first, which I think was actually really smart. So then I became a third wheel because then, when people watch, if they just see them two together all the time, going out and doing stuff, people are going to catch on. So they're like, Mary, what are you doing tonight? Can we borrow you? And so I was like their third wheel, so they could go out together and I could help them keep their secret. So, and then Romain and I would go with them too, but then sometimes it looked like a double date, so we had to refrain from that. Like, I mean,
so Jason doesn't even wait for Chrishell to come back to the table. Like once you figure it out, you figured it out.
Oh, he admitted it. He can't lie to me.
And it was just like I mean, that's pretty good that you figured it out. It just was like in the way he was looking at her, like when she walked away to the bathroom or whatever.
Yeah. Well, we're such good friends. We know each other so well that if one of us is even having a bad day or stressed out, we don't have to say anything. It's just kind of like the energy that we're giving, or like a demeanor or something, whatever it is. We're like, what's going on? Are you okay? And I mean, even if we're smiling and saying something, it's like there's something off. So yeah.
So here you are, you have this new job at the O Group, you have Romain, like you have this full life. So how often are you now called upon by your friends, Chrishell and Jason, to be the third wheel? Like how much time does this take out of? Is this like, are you going on like a date every other night with them? Are you going on a date like, this sounds like a lot.
It was at least a couple of times a week for a while.
That's a lot.
Probably at least 2 nights a week. And then sometimes during the day, I would be back in sometimes, like if there was like a lunch date or something, they're like, Mary, can you come?
Wow, that's a lot.
Good. I mean, they're two of my such good friends, so I don't mind. I always had fun. It was always a good time, but.
So, I mean, you're sitting there, you're at this lunch. Yes, I'm like, I have questions about this. Like you're at this lunch or at this dinner, like, obviously there's no PDA because they don't want anyone to find out, but like, is there like feelings? Are you just like, guys, I'm sitting right here. Like, you can talk to me too. Is it like a date and you're like kind of watching it, just sitting right there?
No, I never felt really uncomfortable or anything. I mean, we're all very like just very close and touchy feely and hang on each other and stuff. We're always very like just friendly. I would say the only time that was a little like awkward was when we were angriest, and finally they were allowed to come out and just like PDA, like, and stuff. And we were in the sprint, like I think some Sprinter van or something. And so the seats sit towards each other. And they were so excited and so just like all over each other. I mean, because they finally could do it in public and they were so happy. And but they were like, yeah, I don't know, like 2 feet from me and just making out. And I was like, I was like, where do I look right now? I was like, I don't know. It was so awkward. But I mean, that, obviously that was just they were so just excited to be together and to experience with to the world. And I even hate talking about this because they're both still like how it ended, but
I know. I mean, it's just, listen, everyone's like, it was great, like to watch, and
yeah.
was there anyone else in the office that kind of was like, wait a second, this seems weird? Like, did anyone else kind of figure it out and confide in you, or was just talking about it and you like then
Well,
try to
Romaine and Amanda.
really?
Yeah. So Romaine knew because I'm a really bad liar. and I can't remember exactly how he figured it out, but finally I was like, guys, I have to tell him this is not fair. Like I'm like literally lying to my husband, and that's not cool. And then I ended up they were like, okay, but he can't say anything to anybody. Like, we just want to keep this to ourselves for now. And so I told him, he was like, oh, yeah, I figured. I mean, because he's friends with everybody and he's watching it and seeing me go do stuff. And he's like, it was just weird, I guess, to him, where he kind of caught on to it. And then Amanda, I don't know how she figured out, if she just kind of was intuitive about it, or if they told her. I'm not really sure.
Maybe
But she
because
knew before everybody too.
like you and Amanda knew Jason for so long, that's how you two
Yeah.
kind of figured it out.
Yeah, we know him so well. So
Interesting.
yeah.
Were you shocked, like when this was, like you knew them both for so long? Like, did it shock, like, because the rest of the world was kind of shocked?
Yeah, it did shock me. I mean, I love both of them, and I just didn't want anybody to get hurt. But I was shocked but happy at the same time. I mean, if you love two people, like, why wouldn't you love them together? Now I was like, oh my God, now we get to double date, we could do this. I was ecstatic, but I just wanted to make sure, because he's like, he's not a relationship kind of guy, and I know that's what she wants, but he was, I mean, he was full, like all in. He was very committed to her. So, I mean, he surprised me for sure, like how devoted and committed he was, and I think always will be, really. I mean, at least even as a friend now. I mean, the fact that they just want different things for family going forward doesn't mean that they don't care about each other any less.